Here's a young man there. Yes.
My question is not exactly related to e-commerce, but to a more important topic of bitcoins.
No, no, bitcoins is fascinating.
Bitcoins has specifically very good advantages for a developing nation. And so I want to know, what is your view as a regulator on free banking and having more of equitable currencies floating in the market?
These virtual currencies will certainly get much better, much safer, and over time will be the form of transaction. That's for sure.
And India will adopt them at some point. We're not going to reject them out of hand.
You know, in a sense, credit cards are already performing some of that role. The amount of rupees that flow through your hands, I presume, are far less than used to before credit cards.
Yes.
And so this is going to go all around. We're going to have near-field contact devices. You just tap and go. I mean, all that we want to permit.
You want to permit?
We want to permit. I mean, we're not saying we're going to lose money, therefore we won't do it. We'll find some other way of getting money. Maybe government will fund us eventually.
Hi, Kelly. President Obama just finished speaking at the South by Southwest event in Texas. He didn't comment specifically on Apple, specifically on I said that's an ongoing case, but he did comment on what he sees as the dangers of unbreakable encryption. Here's what he said.
The question we now have to ask is if technologically it is possible to make an impenetrable device or system where the encryption is so strong that there's no key, there's no door at all, then how do we apprehend the child pornographer? How do we solve or disrupt a terrorist plot? What mechanisms do we have available to even do simple things like tax enforcement? Because if in fact you can't crack that at all, government can't get in, then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket.
And that's a fascinating analogy, Kelly. Swiss bank accounts in your pocket. I haven't heard the president use that phrase before, but the president also said he doesn't want people to take an absolutist view on this Apple versus the FBI encryption issue. He says we make compromises all the time in terms of security and freedom, and he cited TSA security lines and drunk driving checkpoints on the highway as places where we as a society have decided we are going to compromise a little bit of our freedom for a little bit of security, Kelly.
The question about a Bitcoin, honestly, I'm not that big fan of Bitcoins. But I pay special attention to the cashless society, blockchain technology. Bitcoin, the thing I want to know is that what value, what things that the Bitcoin can bring to the society. But behind the Bitcoin, the technology itself, really very powerful. So my job and Alibaba Alipay's job is trying to making sure that we will move, the world will move into a cashless society. The society can make everybody equal, make everybody inclusive to get the money they need, and making sure it's sustainable, inclusive, and transparent. I hate corruption. I don't have opportunity, it's okay. But I don't want somebody through dirty way take away my opportunity. This is why we want a cashless society. But Bitcoin, we watch it very carefully. I will not say I'm a fan of Bitcoins. I'm always also as curious as you are. And I don't think I'm expert on that. I don't pretend I know. There's one thing that I want to share with all of you one day when you do business or do whatever. If you don't know, it's not shameful. But if you don't know, but you pretend you know, it is very shameful. I don't know about Bitcoins.
Please ask your team. Okay,
Ladies and gentlemen.
I see a lot of questions, and maybe Jack, you turn back someday to answer the questions. Okay, but sorry, time is over. Thank you very much.
Had former JP, or we had current JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon come out and say it's a fraud. Do you think Bitcoin is a fraud?
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, I think he's right. I mean, I think that I don't think it's a great model. I'm not saying cryptocurrencies there won't be one. I think there will be one, but I think it has to have some backing by some central governments out there, because the biggest problem I see with Bitcoin, why I would never buy it, is that they could steal them from you. Like they hack into your phone or something. I know people that have lost all their money like that, and also it's just you know, the idea that it's basically, listen, I mean, the currency all is air, I guess, when you think about it, right? But this specifically, because it's being backed by nothing other than a program that creates artificial scarcity, it seems kind of bizarre to me that it could really ever be sustainable forever without the, listen, again, you know, things go artificially up very, very high and they go artificially down, right? The whole reason the Federal Reserve was introduced into the economy was to try to helpfully cushion those blows and panics, right? There won't be a time when everyone is freaking out about Bitcoin and dumps it and God knows what's going to happen. Or like when Mt. Gox, when that went back, and all of a sudden they found out that, wait a second, my Bitcoins aren't safe. It was in the bank and the bank is gone. There's all these bumps in the road. And I also think that sooner or later a central bank or a consortium is going to introduce their own cryptocurrency.